Hi, my name's Dave and you're listening to episode 58 of On the Bench, the fortnightly podcast by scale modelers for scale modelers, available on iTunes, Stitcher and all good podcast apps. In this episode, we're going to be looking at modelling cars. From rally cars to racing cars and every car in between, we're going to be talking about how to get the best out of those car kits. This show is brought to you by the generous support of Matthew O'Meara and Craig Stephen Stanley. If you would like to join these fine two gentlemen in supporting the show, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from $1 upwards. Your ongoing contributions help to cover our production costs and are greatly appreciated. Fine Scale Modeler is proud to support On the Bench. Fine Scale Modeler is the world's most recognised and essential magazine and is available in all good newsagents and newsstands or wherever you purchase your magazines. Alternatively, go to their website www.finescale.com and subscribe to either a print edition or the digital edition. Or why not treat yourself to both? Go now. Go to www.finescale.com. And hello and welcome to the show, Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day listeners.
G'day Julian.
Hello.
This is take two. We've just been sitting here for 40 minutes recording and we've got to redo it again because Ian's microphone wasn't turned on.
Yeah, thanks Dave.
That wasn't my fault.
No, not at all.
Is it you like your grandchildren that come in here and fiddle with the knobs and press the buttons and things?
No, they haven't done that for a while. They haven't been in here for a long time.
Oh, there you go. But
So-
it is your fault.
No, it's not my fault. I don't know. Anyway, what have you guys been doing since the last show? Ian?
Motoring along with the Mooseroos Cup Challenge build.
Which has been getting lots and lots of comments on Facebook.
Yes, so it's as you know, all painted. Now it's all the pin washers are done, and it's been given a flat coat, clear coat. I'll let that sit for a week before I start weathering it.
I have to say, I did feel a little bit hurt when my car only got 2 comments.
Oh, poor Julian.
Well, I thought they looked pretty good.
Yeah, so did I.
Poor Julian.
Well, okay.
I guess Gundams draw more of a crowd than rally
Well, they
cars.
do, I guess. But mind you, it looks pretty impressive. You've got to admit, all that red on the Gundam.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's got a lot of red on it. A lot of red.
So you're miles and streaks ahead with the Mooseroos Cup. So Anthony's sort of way behind. He hasn't even I think he's just got it out of the bag and that's it.
He'll get a start on it.
Yeah, well, he needs to hurry up because it needs to be done by when I get there in February.
Mm-hmm.
So he better pull his finger out.
He'll get it done. I got faith in him.
What else have you been doing, Ian?
Besides that, no, just buying some bits for me Hellcat.
Cool.
Edward's now got some photo etch out for the 124 scale Hellcat.
Oh, very nice.
So I recently acquired the engine upgrade.
Yep.
Which isn't actually for the engine itself. It's basically all the panelling and structural rib supports and so forth.
Yep.
And photo etch, it's quite nice. And they've done an interior set, which comes with the full cockpit fascia, pre-printed, of course, side panels, placards, all the radio boxes for the back, and you get a really nice photo etch, multi-part photo etch seat. And the other thing I picked up for it was from Edward was the what they call T-face masking for the canopy, which is actually inner and outer masking, which is going to be come in handy when I have to paint the canopy.
Yeah, in 1/24th, you'd have to paint both the inside
That
on
you
the
will.
inside and
Yep.
the outside on the outside.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was quite happy with those little purchases. There's apparently another Edward set coming out for the wheel wells, but I haven't seen that yet. When it comes out, I'll grab that as well.
Got a start date yet for your kit, or are you just
Not
getting
yet.
more stuff in?
Just getting more stuff at the moment.
Is
I know,
it-
is it HGW that does the material belts?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently they're doing a belt set for it as well. And I'm hoping and praying that someone does tyres
Cool.
for it, because the tyres are a bit of a letdown.
Oh.
The other thing I found out too,
What's that?
I found out two things about the Hellcat. Actually found out from one of our listeners. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. Shoot me. Oh, sorry, I can't remember. I can't remember the name. But apparently, the first paint scheme, paper doll, the one with the shark's teeth.
Yeah.
That actual aircraft should have had the rear windows, like the F6, F3s did.
Oh, okay.
Which
So what scheme are you going to do yours in now?
well,
then?
I was going to do that scheme. I was doing
okay.
any of the schemes in the box.
Right.
I was going to do a USS Yorktown bird with a big white triangle on the tail.
Is there aftermarket for
Decals for
for
it? No, it won't need aftermarket.
You
decals
paint
for
them?
it. Paint it.
Yeah.
We'll paint everything on that, bar the stenciling. And the other thing I found out too was a bit of an omission from Airfix was there's no canopy rails.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't be too hard to make, would it, in that scale?
There's a bit of work in there.
Mm.
You can't just use a C-shape bit of styrene, because it curves in as well to hold the wheels so that they don't pop out.
Mm.
So it could be a bit of a challenge to get them built properly.
Would it be noticeable in that scale?
I think 124 scale.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's the problem with the scale. Everything's noticeable.
Everything's noticeable on that scale.
So this why you build my 144th scale, because you just can't tell.
Yeah. Oh, I found out something too. I can't.
What?
Forgive me, I can't remember the brand name, but I
Yeah.
saw online this week, and I was meant to sling a link to you, Dave, that there someone's bringing out a 1 to 144 scale F111.
Oh, yes. Do you know which one? Which version?
I think this one you can do the Australian version.
G
with.
version?
The G, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Mm.
And then there's the RF.
I can't remember who done it.
Okay.
Sorry. I really can't remember. I saw it there and got, oh, there's one for Dave, and then kept scrolling.
Well, just blew right past it. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's for Dave. Boom, keep going.
Yeah.
What about you, Julian? What have you been doing?
I bought some decals. So I bought some decals from Stormo magazine, who tend to specialise in Italian aircraft of the Second World War.
Yep.
You're building an Italian aircraft there?
Yeah, I hope to get a kit for the CR-42 from, I think it was Italieri.
Yeah, the Italieri kit's quite nice. Stay away from the classic airframes kit.
Yeah. I think because I think it's the Italieri kits that is a Flying Machines kit.
Could be.
I can't.
Well, I do know that. I'm pretty sure they make two of them. They make the Night Fighter version and the standard version of the CR-42.
Yeah, I think all the kits do. Yeah, I think there's only two, and they sort of get kicked around.
Because I'm pretty sure
from
the Night Fighter
manufactured.
version, the only real difference is it's got the really, really long exhaust pipes.
Yeah, something like that. But
So they actually.
I think there's also of the kits available. There's also one that has the tropical air filter on the on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean this mind you, this decal set comes with decals for some other aircraft like G50s and other things. I probably won't use them for a while, but maybe in the future. It's kind of like an Aces, like Italian Aces of World War II.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So the one I'll be doing is a Battle of Britain aircraft.
Yep.
Which I'd completely forgotten that they had aircraft in the Battle of Britain. They didn't do too well.
No, not at all.
Well, all the biplane that were at the Battle of Britain didn't do too well.
Yeah, that's true. Did they have bombers? They used bombers as well, didn't they, the Italian Air Force?
Yeah, they lost a few over in England. They did. Don't ask me what make they were. Probably Capronis or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been one of those 3-engine things, isn't it?
No, I think I seen a photo of one that was a twin engine, but twin engine, twin
the
twin tail.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think there's a good kit or something of that from memory.
Could be a breader or whatever they
Yeah,
call
I think you might be right, yeah.
But you've been also working on a car, haven't you?
Yeah. So I've been working on the 037 that I posted up on Facebook.
Your Lancer.
The one that everyone ignored.
No, poor Julian.
The audience's displeasure has been
Julie
noticed. I
don't know, maybe.
No, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've gotten almost all the decals on now, I think.
Yep.
So there's only one decal type, because there's like a blue bar,
Yep.
right? It's not really supposed to be a blue bar. It's supposed to be a blue bar that says Rothmans in white inside it. That's the only...
because of the tobacco sponsorship, they don't put it on the decal.
Exactly. So it's a bit of a stuff up, but...
Hang on, wait. So, even though it had the tobacco sponsorship back then in the 80s, you're saying they don't put it in decals now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Really?
It's the same as go to Europe, buy a German aircraft from the Second World War. You won't find
Yeah, I
swastikas.
knew that, but I didn't know they weren't putting the cigarette
yeah.
stuff in there.
Yeah, well, on our own free-to-air TV, whenever they show video footage of 1970s race cars at Bathurst, our touring car championships.
Yeah, they pixelate all the...
It just looks like a blur driving around the track because they've blurred out all the Marlboro
sponsorship logos.
But I'm sure if I went and bought a motorcycle 500cc, the Lucky Strike Yamaha, it'd still have Lucky Strike on it from
it comes
Tamiya.
from Japan.
Yeah. So it'd have the cigarette branding on it. On the decals.
You have to check it.
Oh, jeez. I'm gobsmacked that they do that. How politically correct is that?
Well, it's the way of the world nowadays, Dave.
It's bloody nanny state stuff.
Yeah, it's the way of the world. We've got to learn to live with it. It's not like not like the cool days when we were younger.
No. You could do anything back in those days.
You could.
No seat belts.
Yep.
No helmets on bikes.
No. Stay out till it got dark, till the street lights came on.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, you didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. Now,
Yeah, model kits were 75 cents.
yep.
Oh,
You could buy a tin of Humbrol for 20 cents.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Anyway, so I've been building this car kit.
Yep.
I've been moving along on it. I've now painted because there's only two window frames that I have to paint, front and rear.
The frames of the windows.
Chrome or
No, black.
Oh, yeah, black's all right.
So black's easier.
Yeah.
I painted the front. The rear is scary.
Oh, because you can't get a good angle with your paintbrush.
No, it's more horizontal. So any problems, like I painted the bottom half of the front windscreen, and I made some little mistakes. But I was like, when you actually look at the car, you can't see them because it's sort of hidden under that edge.
Right. Yep.
But then you do the top one, and I had to sort of come in with a bit of. I had some stretch sprue and I sort of cut it off and I sort of scratched away at the areas where I'd sort of gone a bit wrong and then touched it up a bit more. And
Why do you stretch sprue to scratch it away? Why not just a toothpick?
well, I didn't have a toothpick on hand, so I just grabbed the next best thing.
Geez, I've got about 2 packets of toothpicks sitting there. They're such
Yeah,
handy
me
little
too.
tools.
Yeah,
The
but
old toothpick's handy.
I was comfortable. I was sitting down. I didn't feel like getting up.
It's just like going down to the supermarket and buy a packet.
I'm not gonna wait. I was gonna grab. Why would I do that when I can just grab this thing that's like within arm's
Julian.
reach?
Would have scratched it more though if you're using plastic on plastic.
No. Because I was using acrylic paint, pure acrylic, so it's almost like a rubbery skin.
Yeah.
And that was painted over the airbrushed white that I did, which is a lacquer, which is near impervious.
Okay.
So it's very easy to get it off.
Mm.
So I was able to clean it up some. But yeah, the rear windscreen is like scary because it's more horizontal. There's less curvature because like the A-frames will curve away from the more bulged out sort of window frame on the front, but on the back it's all flat.
I thought that would have made it easier on the back if it's all flat.
No, it makes all the mistakes will show up.
Just mask it and airbrush it.
No.
See, that's why people haven't been commenting. They don't want to comment on your mistakes.
Like they haven't seen the mistake because I took that photo before I even painted the first one.
Ouch.
Oh, I don't know. I thought our listeners are being polite. That's all.
So, speaking of model building, what have you done, Dave?
Nothing. Oh, I have. No. I've
Nothing.
Wait.
Nothing.
I got in the mail, so I've got my deluxe AK weathering pencil set with 35 or something pencils.
37.
37 pencils.
Have you used them in anger yet?
No, it only arrived today. So I haven't had a chance, but I did get my AFV club tracks for the Centurion I'm going to be building.
Right.
So I put all the tracks together.
Wait, so the
Individual
the
link.
tracks are from AFE Club?
Yeah.
Okay, so they make tracks for their own kit?
Well,
Yes.
this is what confused me when I purchased them, because I thought I was getting the Fruity metal ones, and the package arrived, and I thought, oh, gee, that's light, because I knew it was where it's from. I thought, just a bit light. And I opened it up, and it was the AFV plastic.
Did you pay the
individual links.
AFE price or just pay the Fruity
Well,
model's
I don't
price?
know now. See, because I'm sure I purchased some Fruity ones.
Don't go back through your emails. You can only disappoint yourself.
I thought, gee, that's light. But anyway, I sat down. I did the whole both sets of tracks in 1 hour. Just click.
Have you painted them yet?
And no.
Oh, that's right. You don't paint armour kits.
And my fingers felt like I've been playing the guitar for about 6 hours straight after doing that.
Right.
It hurt a little bit.
Okay.
So,
All right, Dave.
should we get on to listener mail?
Yes,
Sure.
we shall get on to listen to mail.
I got an email from Hector in Chicago. And if you remember, we spoke about his show. I think he's the president of the IPMS club out there or something.
The Butch O'Hare.
Yeah, that's right. And he confirmed that Butch O'Hare is the actual fighter pilot we thought about. Now, I butchered Hector's name last time. I called Hector.
You also just butchered his name because you said Hectare instead of Hector.
Hector. Well, I'm trying to be good at my pronunciation, because this is where it gets tricky.
Try
So
harder.
Hector's name, I pronounced Hector's name as Hector Colon, as in a colon. And he wrote back saying, as much as he was laughing about it, and people always get it wrong, he says, correct.
Wow, you really butcher this language, Dave.
The correct pronunciation is Colon.
Colon.
Yeah, and I call him.
Colon.
Yeah, and I pronounced it colon.
Yeah.
But he forgives me, which is really cool and everything, because he
Someone
knows
has
that. But the funny thing is, his son's joined the Navy, and so you know what his nickname in the Navy, US Navy is?
I could only imagine. Being in the Navy, it could be anything.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because my son used to be in the Navy as well, so
That's right.
I know what they're like. But no, his nickname is Semicolon, get it?
Boom, boom. It's actually quite a tame nickname for the
You know,
It's
for the naval.
hilarious.
You know, the ability for people these days to spell things correctly is so poor. There's actually like entire compilations of people who have written on Twitter or something like that saying, "Oh, I love the smell of my boyfriend's cologne," and
Yeah,
they've
that's-
written colon.
Colon, yes. I've seen that one. Yes.
Heaps of them have said this sort of thing, and then
Yes. Yes. It's a problem with modern day.
Oh, and the way they're naming their kids now with all these different spellings of the same name, you're going, what the heck?
it's all a big conspiracy to trip you up.
Well, it's still designed to trip me up.
Yeah, specifically you.
So-
It's because their parents are stupid and they can't spell.
Oh, jeez. Next email we got from, and I'm probably going to butcher this name. It's Paul Kalibabke. I hope I got that right, Paul.
Julian's having a look. And what do you say, Julian?
Where is it written?
Right there. Kalibabke.
It's as good a guess as mine.
Thank you. There you go. Paul writes, hey guys, just discovered the podcast. Recently started model kits again. Last time I was in the hobby was back in the 70s. So well done to you, Paul. Welcome back to the fold.
Well, yes, welcome back.
Lots to catch up on in the hobby, but really enjoying it. I'm from Argusville, North Dakota. And we're having a discussion before about whether... not Tombstone. Deadwood was in North Dakota or
I
not,
got
but
no
I'm
idea.
pretty sure Deadwood's in South Dakota. I'm just thinking about it now and more than think about it. So
Well, someone will set you right.
that's a cool place. I wouldn't mind going to visit one day. I reckon it'd be really awesome. Next we had from, let me think now, it was Tony Jacob. Tony, how you going, mate? Tony sent me this email that well, it went on for a fair while, let me say that. And basically the gist of the email was that he was talking about the future of modelling, how it keeps coming up in the conversation. But I want to really zoom in on the last part of his email. and because basically he talks about, first of all, he calls traditional modelling, which is armour, aircraft, ships, and new modelling, which he labels as being Gundam, Warhammer, with sci-fi sort of fantasy, in the middle between the two.
Yep.
So what he writes is traditional modelling is more like architecture, a creative expression constrained by lots of technical knowledge and application. Whereas new modelling is more like art, creative expression constrained by the imagination and the skill of the artist.
Fair point.
His main point was that, rather than trying to get one group to convert to another or keep the two camps separate, at some point there's going to be a melding of the two. And I think that I think that as the guys doing Gundam grow into their older golden years, like you and I are in, perhaps they'll be sort of tempted to sort of have a look at the more traditional side, and then modelers such as us will do like you have, Ian, and sort of look at the Gundam stuff and have a crack at that.
Well, funny you should say that, because Gundam is actually celebrating its 40th anniversary.
So it's not really that young.
No, that's very true, yes.
And they're doing it by bringing out a Gundam that is like over $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Ouch. That's a lot of money.
That's a huge... Why is it so expensive?
Metal parts, I believe. And it's,
limited edition.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you just put limited edition on the box and you can ask for what you want.
They've got like a whole YouTube video outlining all the things that, like, all the little hatches and things open and things move and...
Right.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be like their traditional 1 to 144 scale. It'd be something bigger.
Yeah. It's like this. I think it's a 48 scale one.
That'd be a huge skit.
Stephen Herod writes in, asking us, have we thought about doing an episode about people getting back into the hobby after a long break? I got back into it about 2 years ago, and I see a lot of folks coming back in on the forums. I know they often have the same questions I've had. So that's something we'll definitely have to think about, Steve, and see how we can sort of shape a podcast around that. And the last one I got to mention is Brad Hill. You sent me an email. I can't open what you sent, so I can't really talk about it. So if you want to send it to me again, I'll see if I can perhaps open it. And did I mention it's the 50th anniversary of the man landing on the moon?
It is, yes.
Yay, go team.
There you go.
Yes. People
50th
have
anniversary. I was not quite 1 year old.
Really? How old are you now?
Nearly 51.
Oh, I'm 55. I'm the oldest here, I've just realised. I'm 55.
There you go, you old fart.
So I remember being sat in front of this black and white TV.
Oh, the old radioactive TV box.
You know how when we're in primary school and they have the TV, black and white TV mounted on this great big stand?
Yes.
And they'd wheel it into the classroom and they got all the...
They were still doing that when I was in high school.
Oh, they really?
We used to do it. We used to do it in primary school, and I remember we used to have this, and she was a pretty nasty penguin too. She was.
Oh, you went to one of those schools?
Yeah, I went to one of them schools. That's a primary school. And we had a penguin teacher, and she was pretty mean, except for summer. She loved cricket, so she'd wheel out the old radioactive box and on the stand, and while we did our schoolwork, we had cricket going.
See, I've got memories of it being a hot day for some reason, and it wasn't. It was in our winter, so I don't know where I got that
Someone
from.
had the heater on.
Yeah, I don't know, probably.
Whereabouts were you hot?
I can't remember.
How old were you? About
4?
Yeah, probably peed yourself.
No, I was 5, actually. Good idea.
That's why you're hot.
I was in grade 1. No, I was in preps.
Preps.
So,
yep.
see, and I would have thought we would have been there and had moon bases and everything by now, and humans were watching space in 1999, and you thought, and we did get there.
Yeah. The worst thing is that all that technology they used back then's gone. All went missing.
Oh, yes and no. No.
That's all around. That's all the old space stuff. They all ran on DOS systems.
It's funny.
Their computers, and people don't know DOS anymore. DOS is like this ancient. That's like us trying to get our model instructions in cuneiform.
I don't even think they had DOS back then.
No, it was all analog.
I remember I was just watching a documentary about this. This company went to Russia because on a rumor about all these, because you know how the Russians decided not to go to the moon and everything.
Yep.
They had built an engine because originally they were using Whereas the Saturn V rocket had 5 engines,
Mm-hmm.
the Russians couldn't get the same thrust, so they had about
They had about 8.
15 or
15,
something.
was it?
Yeah, it was a huge number of engines just to get the same amount of thrust.
Mm-hmm.
Because they worked out they had to lift 100 tons, which meant they needed 1,000 tons, 2,000 tons. Anyway, the engines were inefficient. So they went and developed this rip-roaring engine that developed more thrust than what the Americans had.
Mm-hmm.
But because the Soviet agency got shut down, or they didn't go to the space and didn't go to the moon, all these engines were supposed to have been destroyed. And this one Russian guy who designed, or part of the design team, said, no, we're going to hide them. And there's just a warehouse just full of all these huge engines. And so these guys coming from the US discovered it in the 90s, or late 90s, and said, wow, took it back to the US, did a test that was more advanced than what the Americans were actually using.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're actually married these Russian engines to American rockets, and they've been launching.
Oh, there you go.
And I wish I knew the name of the engines. It's a great story.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So, you know, how did I get onto that subject?
I don't know.
Talking about the moon landing.
You look so bored when I'm talking about this sort of stuff, Julian. This is,
It's ancient history.
Oh,
It's
well,
not
where my
ancient history,
expressions
this
on my
is-
face,
you
like
do.
really, I know I do.
You're living,
I can't hide my my lack of interest.
but we are now living in the second golden age of the space era.
Yeah, I know. Thanks to
Hey, look, we've even managed
Mr.
to
Musk.
photograph a black hole.
Yes. And this is something that you're going to be sitting with your grandkids on your knee, Julian, and say, I remember when we launched and Elon Musk sent all these things up into space and everything, and
Yeah,
You'll be able to tell
when
your
we
grandkids.
launched it, when we launched a car into space,
yeah.
yeah.
that was our great achievement.
So now we have the race on between the Chinese and the Americans to get back to the moon.
Yep.
And I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
We better hurry up because I somehow doubt that his legacy will continue after his death.
Whose legacy?
Elon Musk.
Why do you say that?
It's just the way that happens, you know. Like look at Steve Jobs when he died. Apple started going downhill.
Yeah, but he's still revered as very
Oh,
visionary.
I'm sure he is. But when he was in charge, he came out with the iPhone, the iPad,
The
i
iPod.
this, the i that.
The iPod.
And since he died, they haven't come out with a single new product.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
See? You can only keep your dreams alive while you're alive.
All right, don't forget you can write to us at onthebench64@gmail.com. Please address all your negative stuff to Julian, and Ian and I will
love it.
take all the credit for the great stuff.
I-
Let's have a look at what's happening in the world of modelling, and we'll start with Trumpeter. They have announced 4 new items for June. The first one is going to be a Russian S-300V, which carries the the SAM 09518, which I don't know what that is. It's some big Russian thing.
It's a big truck with some pipes on the back that launch
Oh, it's not even
big
a
not a
missiles.
truck.
Big
It's actually
tank thing.
tracked.
Oh, it's tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's designed
That's
to
weird.
it's an air defense missile system which is developed to engage short and intermediate range ballistic missiles. So it's actually the Russian version of the
Patriot system.
Yeah,
Yep. Looks pretty cool.
It looks very cool. All Russian stuff looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Those guys, they must have some really cool designers in there. That looks like a great kit actually. So if you're interested into that sort of stuff, definitely. Did I say what size it's going to be?
Well, 135th scale.
Okay, thank you very much, Ian. Next, they've got in 1/700 scale HMS, I should say, Montrose. I've actually got this in 1/350 scale, built and finished and painted.
Well,
Ian,
there you go. Yeah, but it's in a tank.
no. So this will make a great little kit. It's quite a nice looking frigate actually, the Type 23. I quite like it. And in fact, recently the Type 23 has been in the news. In fact, that the Montrose, HMS Montrose was just recently in Darwin actually.
Oh, really?
Stopping over, yeah.
Yeah.
In 1/72nd scale, we have a Soviet Tu-22 blinder tactical bomber. The Russians do their bombers that look very sexy, I've got to say. I just don't know what it is, but they look great. It's the first supersonic bomber, certainly that the Russians did. And And in 1/72 scale, it's going to make quite a large kit, as a matter of fact.
Russian and Ukrainian markings.
The interesting thing about it is that it's got twin engines, but the engine are mounted on the rear tail above the fuselage, not under the wings. Mm-hmm. So it must have had something to do with getting them as fast as they got them, I suppose. Yep. Last but not least from Trumpeter, we have a Russian 72 V6 E4 combat vehicle, which carries the SA-22 Greyhound surface-to-air missile. And this is a truck, so yeah.
So it's got a little anti-aircraft turret on the back with a bunch of missile launchers and a big radar thing in the center.
Well, it's got two types of radar. It's got the tracking as well as the search radar as well, all in one unit, so that's pretty cool as well.
Yep. Cool, very cool.
Rightio. Let's have a look at what's coming out from, I believe that this might be Italeri, and it certainly is. Italeri have announced, well, they're saying new releases that we don't know whether it's actually new or not.
Or just reboxes of another company.
First one is a BF-110 destroyer in 1/48 scale. Comes with 5 different schemes, one for Battle of Britain, one with the
Reggio Aeronautica,
Italian Air Force, one is a night fighter,
yep,
and the other two we think might be Poland 1939, and the other one is 1940, which is probably over in Battle of Britain.
Yeah, heavy fighter.
Now, you were saying earlier on that these were actually used by the Iraqi Air Force?
Well, 110s were used by the Iraqis.
Right. After the war or during the war? It must have been after, because...
during the war.
Hang on, but wasn't Iraq part of Britain? Or British...
Well, they may have bought them before the war.
They may well have done.
Mm. But I have seen photos, even colour photos of them in Iraqi markings.
Interesting. It's amazing how many German aircraft sort of ended up in air forces you wouldn't have thought they would have ended up in.
Yes, that's correct.
In 1/24 scale, Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing, which was produced by Mercedes in 54. Yep, it certainly was. Beautiful car. Love the shape of it. And the Gullwing was a first, I think, in the world at the time. I'll stand corrected on that.
I'm not sure why. I mean, like, generally when you think of this car, it's always depicted in silver, right? Classic
and they've
Mercedes
got it in
colour.
dark blue on the box art.
Yeah, and they got in dark blue on the box art.
Why not? Well, I doubt they would have all come out silver.
Mercedes-Benz have not been known for their sort of moving away from more sort of radical colours. They've always been very conservative as a car company when it comes to colours. So,
but you can't open the doors on this kit.
Oh, you can't?
No, have a look at this one-piece windshield. Wraps around the whole body.
Oh, yeah.
Thus you won't be able to open the doors.
Ew.
Good pickup, Ian.
If you can't have the doors open, it's not even a Gullwing, is
What's
it?
exactly right.
Yep.
All right. Well, now this is a really weird one. It's a Tiger Ferdinand.
Yeah, the VK4501.
In 1/35 scale, so it's got the turret of a Porsche.
Well, basically Porsche. Porsche originally did the design.
Right.
So it's got the Porsche running gear, the Porsche body. I think it's got the Henschel turret. I think it was Henschel that made the turrets. But the main body of those were... Because it only, I think, did the one test unit, and it wasn't very well received. So they, and Porsche had already gone ahead with producing a whole heap of chassis. So they ended up converting these chassis into the Ferdinands and the Elephants.
Well, wasn't this thing like actually the tracks powered by electric motors, and it had like some kind of...
Yes, that's right, yeah. The little electric motors.
And it had a generator or something like that.
No, Ferdinand Porsche just went bananas with all these new ideas, and that was just one of them.
But it's a weird looking thing to look at. It looks like, something that out of a Hollywood movie where they've got it wrong. Yeah. Much like the tank out of Saving Private Ryan.
It's funny you mention that. I have seen a Russian movie where there's this mysterious light grey tiger that goes around shooting all these T-34s, and it just like appears out of buildings and things, and it looks
you mean
like
White
that.
Tiger?
Is that the one?
Yeah, White Tiger, the Russian movie. Yeah, I've got it.
That looks like that.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Speaking of Russian and German tanks, you see there's some English guy who has looked at photography over the Battle of Kursk and he's saying that the German tank losses or defeat wasn't as great as what the Russians portrayed. And as a result, the Russians are having epileptic fits over this.
Fair enough.
Which is fair enough too. I think if somebody else comes along from outside and rewrites your history, you'd be a bit upset with
exactly, yeah.
So, but yeah, just interesting sort of take. He's looking at the photographs, aerial photographs, and he's interpreting them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're into the 50th anniversary of the moon landings, of course, Italy are pushing out their SH-3D Sea Apollo recovery helicopter in 1/72nd scale. But they're supplying it with 3 different decal versions. One is for the
Hornet.
Yep, the Black Knights from the Hornet, as Ian just said. Another version is for 824 Squadron, Royal Navy. And the last one is for 1 Squadron Detachment, Fleet Angels from the USS Ticonderoga. So if you like your helicopters, go and get one of these. I don't know whether the best kit for... certainly the Airfix kit wasn't the best for the Sea King.
Hasek Yow had done a great Sea King.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
I wonder if this one could be done for the Australian version.
I'm not sure.
Somebody will write in and tell me, no doubt. Renault.
Mm-hmm.
We have in 1/12 scale a Renault RE20 Turbo from Formula 1 1977. And Ian's just diving in to have a closer look at that.
Yeah, just had a look to see who the driver was. René Arnoux.
Oh, okay.
In the yellow, the Elf.
Yeah,
Nice looking car.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking kit.
It is, yeah.
But I mean, like in that scale, in
Yeah.
1/12 scale, you'd expect it to
But
be.
look at the detail that they've got out of this. It just looks absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
a lot of sprues by the looks of it.
Oh, a heck of a lot of sprues. I got no idea what that is. 500 pieces for the entire kit. You can pose it with the front fairing and the rear fairing off to expose the motor. Very detailed motor, right down to the brake pads and calipers on the wheels.
Well, I think it's actually got
Comes
the
with the
full
leads.
interior.
Yeah.
So it's got like the motor and the
got your fuel.
radiators and
Fuel lines, spark plug leads.
yeah.
So basically everything's there.
Normally expect a company like Tamiya to sort of push out something this detailed, especially for the Formula 1 stuff. So
Yep.
this will be an interesting kit to see what it comes out like and what you guys think of it if you're indeed going to purchase it.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to have a look at
I think it was Revell.
and see what they've announced for 2019 July. And first one is the GTK Boxer Command Post for the Netherlands Army. This is the one that, Julian, you were saying that we won the Land 400 project.
That's right.
And it's going to be used in the Australian Army. So I wonder if this can be
Every
converted
time I look
straight
at
over.
that, every time I look at that thing, I just think of the movie Aliens.
Oh, it looks like the Aliens 2.
Yeah,
It looks like the car in
something
that.
they'd use in that.
Yeah.
Colonial Marines.
But that's what Anthony's building over in Canada at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The thing is, most people don't realise that these things are actually really big.
It does.
They
look quite
are.
large.
And in fact, it's really funny. I've seen a picture where we've got an Abrams next to it, and this thing towers over it.
Yep.
It's huge.
It's really
big.
The vehicles
So
that
big
they're...
target, huh?
Well, that's the interesting thing because they moved away from having these things sitting up high because it's harder to get them hull down. And but I guess it's just being sort of like a battle taxi and that type of thing. Although the Australian Army are getting them with turrets, it comes with turrets as well. I can't think of the turret manufacturer.
Rheinmetall.
Yes, thank you.
Well, they've been around for a while.
They have.
Rheinmetall.
I think they're doing the 30mm gun on it.
I think it might be 35.
Well, they just slap a Pack 43 in it.
Pack 43.
It's a howitzer. That's
an
why.
88.
No.
Rheinmetall uses those a lot.
So this is basically like a wheeled version of an infantry fighting vehicle.
Yeah,
the way
still chuck
in the setup
an
we've
88
got.
on it. It'll take anything out.
This is for the Australian Cavalry Regiment. So
Yeah,
it'll
so.
be- no, that's not what
Use
they're
an
designed
88.
for. No.
Who cares? You got an 88, you can take anything out.
Not quite.
In any case, its main strength is that it is very, very fast.
Yep.
Very fast. Which is good for us, covering lots of ground.
Yes.
In 1/25th scale, a 2006 Ford Shelby GT-H.
Mm-hmm.
Happy, are you, Ian?
Oh yeah. It's not a classic. It's not a real Hertz. It's based off the Hertz model, the Shelby 66 Shelby GT 350H, which were sold to Hertz Motor Company and used out for to rent them out. The only problem was that usually when they came back to the Hertz dealership after the weekend, they had the wrong motor put back in them, or they'd been that severely bashed around a racetrack they really couldn't be used for anything else.
I'm not a fan of these sort of most of the revival of the sort of let's make a new car that looks like an old muscle car.
Yeah.
The only one I like is the Challenger.
Yeah, I do like the Challenger.
I think it's
Challenger
the most true to its origins.
Yeah. But then again, it's the Mustang. It's still got the Mustang shape.
This comes with a complete engine that you can build, which looks fairly detailed.
Like a modern V8.
Yeah.
Cramped engine bay.
Yep. And it's a Shelby, so it'd be tricked up something severe.
I'm sure it'd appeal to a lot of car builders.
Oh, definitely.
Next, we have in 1/72nd scale Tornado ECR. Pardon me, having a hiccup then. With the Tiger Meet 2018 decals for the Luftwaffe.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tornado with a bunch of tiger stripes on it.
I think the Luftwaffe are still flying, whereas the RAF have now phased them out.
Yeah, they're gone from the RAF.
And the Italian Air Force, I think, whether they're still flying or not, I don't know. It's getting very long in the tooth now as an aircraft.
Oh, they were great aircraft of their day.
Yeah, absolutely. A 55 Chev Indy pace car, which is an interesting subject in 1/25th scale.
Convertible.
This looks really, really cool, actually. So I could even be tempted into this.
There you go, Dave. You can build your first car model.
I can build my first car model. It looks all right. What I like about this is the interior doesn't look toy-like, and I reckon. Oh well, no, I'll put that aside, that comment aside, when we get to talking about cars, which we will do shortly. Next in 1/670th scale, what the heck is going on with that?
Well, it's a Starship. You can do whatever scale you want.
Revell have these weird scales. 1 to 670. USS Voyager, Star Trek.
Head in.
It has. Length of the model is 514 millimeters, so just over half a metre.
So it's a big kit.
It's going to be a huge kit. And for the grand price of €35, that's not bad.
That's a pretty good bargain.
I could even be tempted to purchase that too,
That's a nice looking kit.
Yeah. A BMW R75/5 police motorcycle in 1/8 scale. Oh, that looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
I do like my motorcycles.
Yep. There you go.
I had a BMW K100 once. RT.
Yep.
I loved it. Beautiful bike.
Yep.
What happened to it?
Oh, I had to sell it. Wife.
That's all right. You can leave it at wife and
Yeah.
And everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
There's still a sore point. Brings a tear to my eye. Anyway, moving on. Who are we going to look at now?
Hobby Boss.
Oh, let's see what Hobby Bosses are announcing for this month. A Liberator B24D in 1/32nd scale to go with their B24J model.
Yep.
Only thing is, of course, it's well known now that the engines are very poor and will need some serious aftermarket adjustments.
If there's any out as yet.
Along with a few other things as well.
Yeah.
But it's it's the only party in town at 1/32nd scale.
And it'll make a big kit.
Oh, it looks huge. It doesn't give me the actual size or anything, but you know what? The Liberator is just one of the two iconic bombers, I think. Well, no, actually Lancaster as well. So they're also announcing a new item, which is the Japanese Self-Defense Force T-4 trainer, which was a homegrown trainer, homegrown built, and built by Kawasaki. So That's pretty cool if you like that sort of stuff.
Play trainers.
What's wrong with trainers? I
They're
reckon
boring.
No, they're not.
They got no guns on them. That's right. Isn't
That's
it?
right. No teeth.
What's
No
wrong?
teeth.
Hasegawa have announced their September-August release. They're redoing some of their kits and calling them, sticking some new stuff in them and calling them limited releases.
I don't think Hasegawa do any new kits anymore.
So the
They
first,
haven't done for a while, have they?
I don't know.
I think like all the new kits they make these days are like egg planes and other weird oddball stuff.
So the first one is a 1/700 scale Japanese Navy destroyer, the Kumo type, and this one is for the Hayami. Thank you, Ian. Now this comes with wooden parts, which we're still trying to figure out what it's for. A display stand, aluminium parts, nameplate, additional plastic parts, ship bottom parts, etc.
Etch parts.
So I'm not really quite
So basically,
sure.
well, it looks like it's got etch parts, including the bridge roof with window frame, chimney rail, rain grate, ventilator net, and handrail. So pretty much everything you need to do it. I don't think you need any aftermarket to do that.
No, you could just go straight into it. In 1/72nd scale, they've re-released their F-15J Eagle with the 40th anniversary decal, which has a great big chrysanthemum.
Correct.
And behind that is looks to be like one of their cherry blossom trees, and a digital cam to represent in two different styles of pinks to represent the cherry blossom, which looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, it does. And this kit also comes with
is it
aftermarket.
pink? It's a weird color, isn't it? It's almost like pink fluorescent orange or something.
Well, that's a pink, and that's sort of a reddish pink.
Yeah. It also comes with highly detailed 3D printed engine nozzles
That'd be cool.
in the closed
That is
position.
actually cool.
Yeah. Very nicely detailed.
Not bad for the scale, though, is it?
yeah.
1/72.
You know, if someone's gonna buy that, and then they're gonna replace those 3D printed engine nozzles with some other one that's
Exactly.
only slightly better.
True. Too true.
The Kawanishi H8K1 two-type large flying boats, which I was surprised to realise was actually used in the second Pearl Harbor attack, which I knew nothing about. Apparently, a couple of these flew over and bombed Pearl Harbor sometime after the first attack. Oh, here we go. This aircraft...
Oh, yeah, Operation K in March 1942.
Yep, March 4th to 5th, 1942, where two of them carried out a second Pearl Harbor attack.
Oh, there you go.
They were refueled by submarines and then went on to bomb.
And at 72 scale, it's a big beast.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I've got it in 1/144th scale, but this model here, the model width is 528 millimetres. It's a huge model in 1/72nd scale, but...
And it's got full interior detail and everything.
yeah, great looking kit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, certainly in 1/44th scale it stands out alone.
Yep.
Next is the FA-18E Super Hornet with decals for VFA-14, the top hatters. That's 118 parts, and for those of you who like doing your Super Hornets,
Hey, it'd be
this
a
is
nice
one
kit.
for you.
Be
Absolutely.
a nice kit, yes, definitely agree.
You know how you can tell your Super Hornet from your normal Hornet?
Yeah, the engine intakes.
Engine intakes are square compared to
Rather
rounded.
than the rounded.
Last but not least, from Hasegawa, they're re-releasing their F111G, the Aardvark, with Australian decals.
Yay.
So I've been reading on some of the forums that a lot of the guys who like building their Australian Air Force stuff have been snapping this up because they said it's not a bad kit in 1/72nd scale for the F111.
Yep.
So that's
Very nice.
pretty cool.
Yep.
And that's it for what's new.
Yep.
You guys got anything new?
I got nothing new
I've got nothing new.
except what I mentioned before about Edward with their new photo etch.
Cool. Julian.
Nope.
All right, have a very short break and we'll talk about modelling cars.
Sounds plain.
Sure.
Back soon. And we're back to talk about building cars, which I know very little about, so I'm in your hands, gentlemen.
In our hands.
Yes.
He's asking for trouble.
Sure,
isn't he?
why not?
No idea. Well, we could start off by saying, I guess there's 4 main types of cars.
4.
Well, this is my take on it.
Yep, all right.
You can
go
tell me
for
whether
it.
right or wrong.
Mhm.
So you have racing cars, and I'll include rally cars in it.
Sure.
You have
They do
your...
race. They've been known to run races.
Yes. You have your pre-World War II cars, like your old sort of old-fashioned cars.
Vintage and veteran cars.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And modern-day cars. Is that 4?
That's 3.
That's 3. Okay, there's only
You've
3
got
then.
sports cars, muscle cars.
Well, okay. Well, they're different genres, I guess, don't they?
Yep.
So where do you start when you're building a car?
Where do you start? We open the box, of course. Silly question.
No, that's not where you start. You got to select the car.
Ah, yes,
right,
yeah.
okay.
You got to find out
Now,
what you're into.
what scale are you going to go with?
Yep.
So what scales do cars come in?
Oh, all numerous scales.
And the most popular would be?
Most popular is usually 124, 125th scale.
Right.
120?
120, yes. That's like Tamiya racing cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Formula One.
It's a weird thing where certain manufacturers have settled on certain
You got
scales.
143 scale.
Which is really small.
143. What a stupid scale is that? Is that a Revell?
No.
No.
It's all these other Japanese companies where you're spending a couple of $100s for a little car. Like these are like super high detailed metal bodies,
Yeah.
spoked wheels. just
multimedia,
incredible. Yeah.
where it's basically resin and
Well,
white
that's a
metal.
good question. Would you classify a car model, if it's not plastic, as still being a model?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you still have to
It's
assemble
a
it.
scale representation of the thing.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a model.
Just posing the question.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I said.
so-
I'm in your
So,
hands.
Model Factory Hero do it in 43rd
I think
scale?
they might. I just
I'm
can't
pretty
remember. There's one company out there that does all Formula One and classic racing cars, and they're just amazing detail. Those things.
Now, Model Hero,
You're
they're the really expensive ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Model Factory Hero are very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my 037 that I'm currently building cost me $30
Yeah.
roughly from Japan.
Right.
I bought on Hobbylink Japan. If you're buying Hasegawa kits, it's
Yep.
good to get them from Hobbylink Japan because they don't get that weird price hike that you get when they sell them locally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. It's the way it goes. Model Factory Hero do the same kit in the same scale. Much better, of course. It's more. It's one of their multimedia resin photo etch and white metal kits. But that's like a $400 kit. They also do it, I think, in 43rd. Don't quote me. But I know for a fact that they also do it in 12th scale.
Which would be quite a large scale. That's a big scale for
Yeah.
cars.
I mean, it's a very small car,
Mm.
realistically.
Yep.
And it's smaller than you think it is, you know.
Yeah.
But that would be the ultimate for this car. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind you, you're probably still dealing with the exact same issues with sort of like the way the decals go on, the way they conform to the shape of the car.
Yep.
So if that is your sticking point with, you know, like if you're weak with your decal work as far as like big sort of decals that conform around compound curves and
yep.
things like that, then you're not going to have any easier time going up or down in scale.
No.
It's going to be exactly the same.
It'll be harder in larger scale.
Mm.
Much harder.
The more detail you get, the more non-sort of toy-like they sort of look.
Yes. Of
Yeah.
course.
So
Of
when you're
course.
looking to select your car, you want to go when it comes to the chassis. In fact, if cars are built with chassis and the particular model you're looking at. Engine,
Yep. Well, you can either get like two types. You can get like curbside and standard, fully open. Like fully open, you open the bonnet, shows the engine.
Right.
Curbside, no engine.
okay.
You basically just get a plug at the bottom that simulates there's an engine underneath there.
Yeah, certain details that you would see in the larger scales you wouldn't necessarily see in the smaller scales. So things like braided cables.
Braided cables.
Yeah,
Oh, you can get all that
like you'd
stuff
be able,
aftermarket
rather than
too.
just having like a, you know, it
Yeah, yeah.
represented by like a wire or something like that,
Yeah.
you would be able to actually see the braiding on the cables or something like that.
Yep.
And same with the little, you know, often you see hoses with the little blue nuts to screw them in.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
And
Th-
there's so
these are-
much aftermarket you can buy for car kits too.
Yeah.
Wheels, tyres, aerials, because I've got aerials. You can
Well,
get
I think the unique
valves for your wheels.
Wow.
I think the more unique sort of to cars when it comes to that sort of thing is there's a lot more cars out there and variations on those cars than you would find with aircraft or armor or anything else. So you got a lot of subjects to cover,
Oh yeah.
right? And they're not always going to be in stock.
Mm.
And you're not always going to be able to find the aftermarket that you want.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's the challenge.
So when you're building a car with aircraft, you start with a cockpit. With a ship, you start with a hull. With a tank, you start with the
I always start with the interior.
hull. So the interior.
Interior. Yep.
Okay.
Dash, seats,
The thing that
door
really,
trims.
I think, picks a good model as against a bad model is the interior. Because if the interior isn't spot on, it can look really toy-like.
Yep. And you got to be careful, especially with the older like 60s and 70s cars and that, where they got like the really fine chrome strips around
Yeah.
the doors,
Yeah.
the door trims and so forth, and around the seats. If you don't paint them up well, it can look quite ordinary.
Okay.
See, that's a reason why I wouldn't build one of those kits.
Oh, I don't mind doing it.
I mean, I'm not necessarily enough of a fan of them
Yeah.
to buy a kit of them anyway.
Yep.
But that extra bit on top just is enough to turn me away
Yeah.
from them.
Whereas me, as you know, I'm a huge fan of the late 60s, early 70s muscle cars.
Yeah.
And they all got the good stuff in them.
When are you going to build the Judge?
I got to get one first.
Well, what's the Judge?
GDO.
Oh, okay.
Pontiac.
Okay.
GDO Judge.
Right.
Orange.
Yeah, in the orange colour.
And it has the Judge written on
on
the
the
side.
front fender. Yeah, very cool. Oh, well, that was my latest acquisition. Was a '67 Dodge Charger fastback. Very nice.
Really?
Yeah.
The Charger.
Yeah.
I like the Challenger. Because it's in Vanishing Point, you know?
Oh, no,
Classic
the
movie.
Charger. Like, I want to get a '68 Charger and paint it black, so I can do one from the movie Bullet.
Oh, yeah. But see, like, the thing is, like, of all the old classic car movies like that, you know, like, Vanishing Point, I reckon, is the one, because it's got lots of dirt and mud and stuff when he's doing those doughies and
If
things
you want
out
to see
there
a
in the
really
desert.
classic car movie, the Gumball Rally.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
The Gumball Rally.
yes.
That's where they
With
got the
Sally
Shelby-
Fields and...
No,
Oh,
that's not the Gumball Rally.
I thought it was.
That's Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, it's Smoking the Band I'm thinking of.
The Gumball Rally. That was done.
With Dom DeLuise?
Nope.
Oh, what?
No. Gumball Rally was a classic movie.
With Burt Reynolds
I
in it?
like how sure he was.
Nah, not even close.
Oh, jeez, okay.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. No, Gumball Rally is classic. It's got the classic Shelby versus Ferrari race.
Who's in it?
Oh.
No name
No,
actors?
look, guys that have been in movies, but they were that long ago, I can't remember. But it's a classic movie. It's a great movie, the Gumball Rally. And if you like,
I've seen the Gumball Rally.
Yeah.
I thought Burt Reynolds was in it.
No.
Okay.
So, for our listeners who, maybe share my interests in Group B rally cars, a relatively new manufacturer called B-Max, who operate out of Macau. They have been in partnership with Oshima, and they've been bringing out a whole bunch of them, whole bunch of rally cars. They do the Celica that won the Australian Rally Championship.
So they they got like the molds from Aoshima?
I think they're getting Oshima to make the kits,
Right.
and they're doing the legwork with the actual
Because Aoshima make the one car kit I've always wanted,
what's that?
the Mad Max.
Oh, really?
Oh,
The Mad Max Interceptor.
Interceptor, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very hard kit to find here out in Australia, and when you do find it, it is stupidly expensive. But that's a kit that definitely is on my wish list.
Isn't it the one from the recent movie and not from the earlier movies?
I'm pretty sure it's the one with the two big fuel tanks and where they
Yeah,
cut the
yeah.
back, the
So you
boot
need.
open.
So if you want to do like the original movies, you have
You've
to
got
sort
do
of
a bit
backdate it and
correct.
stuff.
Yeah, you need to add a lot of bits, add a bit of body work to it.
Yeah,
But
well,
I'll do the late one. I reckon the one with the big fuel tanks in the back is just the best looking one.
it looks more post-apocalyptic.
It does, yes.
So
It does.
not knowing much about car kits, do they come when they come? Is it a complete shell with the roof on? So
Yep.
If it is, how do you get all the interior stuff in there?
Well,
Just
the
through
interior is
doors?
like a tub,
Right.
and the tub just basically just glues up on the inside of the body.
Okay.
So you build the tub up with all the interior, and it's got like the rear parcel shelf and the
Well, all the kits you do
Yeah.
are like that.
yeah.
Well, whereas with mine, it's more a case of you've got like a chassis with which the wheels and everything go onto, and you've got a tub for the cockpit that goes onto that.
Oh,
and then
okay.
And then you lift
Yep.
that whole assembly up into the body,
Right, okay.
Yeah.
and this
Okay.
sort of clicks in there.
I do have one kit where I've actually got to build the chassis. The chassis comes in just brass tubing and white metal.
So you got to
frames.
actually weld it.
Yeah,
Well, not weld it. You
can't
gotta,
weld it. It's brass and
what's it called when
lead.
you? What do you call it when you solder?
Yeah, I'd have to try and solder it, but then again, I'll be you got to try and solder two different materials.
White metal and brass.
Yeah,
Geez, that'd be tricky.
yeah, that could be just a super glue job.
Super glue for sure.
But that's the
Well,
Gun Sangyo.
Soldering's not really like welding though.
No,
No.
it's like gluing.
I use welding
Yeah,
as a wrong.
it's more like
as a wrong term.
using metal to glue.
Yeah,
metal.
Yeah. But that's the Gun Sangyo Cobra Daytona Coupe, which in itself is a fantastic kit. It's curbside, so you only.
When are you going to build it?
When I finish collecting parts for it, because I want to open the bonnet and show the 289 engine, which means I've got parts for 289, but I've just got to find other components, and then I've got to get around to actually cutting this body up of a kit that's in its 3 figures now. If you can find it, it's a very rare kit to find now. Like even the badges are etched metal.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. It's a stunning kit.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely stunning kit. Like I've had this kit for about 30 years.
Is this the kind of thing where like you said you're going to have the bonnet
Open.
open? Does it open like a conventional bonnet?
No, the whole front of the car.
Okay, well that
Like the whole front
in a way
just hinges
that
open.
kind of makes it a bit easier in a way, doesn't it?
No, not really. Because there's a lot of work on the inside of that because they don't like silver, like a silver coating on the inside. It was like a material. Like
Yeah.
a heat shield.
Yeah, the heat
Yeah.
shielding. Yeah.
And they've got like that really weird radiator because the radiator sat on about close to about 35 to 40 degree angle. With like this big metal box built around it and pipes coming in and out. And then you got to like build the subframe.
Well, I've got 2 other car kits in my stash. One is the recent B-Max kit of the Audi Quattro from the Group B Rally.
Yep.
In the yellow, black and white colours. So they also make an aftermarket set for that where it's got like a whole bunch of photo etch and they give you like some ribbony stuff for seat belts.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Because unlike this current car that I'm working on where the seat belts sort of just go into the little holes in the back of the seat and then they just disappear somewhere. Because it's up against like the sort of
The firewall.
the firewall between the cockpit and the engine in the back.
Yep.
With this Audi, it's tethered all the way in the back of the, like where the back seat would be for the car, right?
Yep.
It's all the way in the back there. So you do need like a physical seat belt. You can't just do it with decals.
Yes. Too
So that would be what I would need before I can start that kit.
Yep. But you can get aftermarket seatbelts.
Yeah.
Just
I
go
guess.
search.
Yeah.
Do a search online.
Are there key manufacturers for aftermarket stuff?
Yeah.
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 The other car kit I've got is Nissan Silvia S15, which is a fairly, like, what's it, 2000s-ish 4-cylinder sports car from Nissan. And my friend wanted me to build this kit because I found out that there's an actual resin conversion set to turn it into like a hotted up version of it.
Like a Japanese hot rod.
No,
Where
actually,
they put multiple wings on the back of them.
not quite. No. There's a name for that. I think it's
Rice burner?
Bosuzoku,
Right.
or that it is shortened to Zoku.
Right.
And where they have these great, like they just, weld on like lengths of pipe
Yeah.
that are like 6 feet long
Yeah.
onto the ends of the
Exhaust.
pipes, and they stick up in the air. It's really
Looks weird.
it's
Really
a weird
weird.
thing.
Yes.
No, it's not like that. It's actually an Australian tuning company called Rocket Bunny, and they make primarily like sort of body kits.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So funnily enough, there was an actual resin conversion kit for that.
There you go.
And I was like, hey, do you want me to build this? He's like, yeah, that'd be great. I'm like, it'll cost you this much.
And he's gone, no, not so great.
And he's like, yeah, I'll do. Oh. I think he just wants one of my models.
Yep. Oh, well,
Something to
make some
remember
money
me by when I'm
make
dead.
some money out of him.
A lot of people, when I'm reading about when they're building cars, and if it comes with chrome in the kit, the first thing they'll do is strip the chrome. Why would they do that?
Because most of the time, especially the kits that I build, the classic kits, the chrome's usually pretty bad. It's wrinkly. The sprue attachment points are usually on points where you get, as soon as you take it off, you're going to see a big bit of plastic rather than chrome.
Mm.
So yeah, you just got to take the chrome off and get them re-chromed.
And what's the best way of removing the chrome?
Oh, usually just a good soak in oven cleaner.
Right.
That'll get rid of it.
So when the kit's manufactured at the factory, what do they spray the part in a chrome paint? Do they?
No,
before
they
or
usually proper chroming. Because you can chrome plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, years ago I built the, not a car kit, it was the GB racer, air racer. And there was a actual place just down the road from my work, and they did plastic chroming.
Seriously?
So I got them to chrome up the propeller. Cost me $10 back then, which was a lot of money. That came up really well. And the worst thing was it showed up all the little minute scratches.
Oh, no.
So before you re-chrome it, clean it up, make sure there's no blemishes at all. But nowadays, I'd just probably use the what are those, Molotow.
No, they're sensational.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
Because Molotow you get the refill, and the refill you can just airbrush.
Yep.
It's a
rather
very
than just text
bright
chrome.
sort of chrome.
Yeah, which is great for the old classic muscle cars
Mm.
because they were bright chrome.
I've heard some people who are very finicky about their metallic finishes not be that enthused by it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember why
Mm-hmm.
they said it, but yeah, like I think it was sort of like along the lines of it's not the same as a properly airbrushed Alclad finished where it looks super sharp and
Right.
yeah.
I'll have to. I haven't done it before, so I'll just have to do a test. See how it goes. Worst case scenario, just go down the road from work and get it chrome.
Also, there's those. There's also the what do you call them? Brush on powder type.
Oh, the rub and buff.
Yes, sort of rub and buff. Yeah, like Ushi.
Yep.
Ushi sells a whole bunch of has a chrome and a steel and a
Yep.
something or other. Yeah, he has like 2 or 3 of these sort of powders that you just brush on, and then as long as the finish is gloss, it'll stay on.
Yep.
Won't
I
come
see,
off too easily. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So I don't know how good they are, but I've seen it used and it's a pretty good effect.
Looks good. Yeah. But then again, nothing would come up as well as having it properly chromed. If you have it properly chromed, well, it's going to be chrome.
The windscreens, do you do the same as if you're building an aircraft with the canopy and,
Mask them.
not mask them, but I'm saying, get that sort of real clear look by whack it in future or something like
No,
that?
I don't whack them in future. I give them a polish.
Yep.
Give them a good polish. With my style of cars, the muscle cars, well, the windscreens, one of the last things you glue in place anyway. Because it's usually the windscreen, you get the front windscreen, sometimes part of the side windows, and the back screen is usually one piece.
And just pushes up and
just
glues
pushes
the
up
side of the roof.
glues up
Oh,
the
okay.
side of the roof.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the car that I've currently got, all the windows are separate pieces that I then have to glue into place.
What are you using to glue that in?
I'm not too sure yet. I'll let you know when I get to it.
White glue.
White glue.
White glue.
Yeah, I do have like some decals that have to go on them as well, as because they're on the it's a race car. It's got like I think it's perspex or something like that. Windows on the sides.
Yep.
Where it doesn't wind up or down. It's just got like a little like
Yeah, a little ventilation slot.
like the prison slot or the
Yeah.
slot to the secret nightclub, just goes sideways, It's got that kind of a window.
Yeah.
I got to like paint all the little sort of
What sort of clubs do you go to where they slide the window
it's like
across
the way
to
they're
let you in?
depicted in movies, the ones you have to you just see like a pair of eyes appear from behind the slot and they say what's the secret password and it's got one of those kind of windows and
Right.
I got to do all the little like rivets or whatever that hold the window.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On,
Yep. That sounds
So-
like interesting.
Yeah.
So when you polish it, is there any special way that you polish the? Do you use polishing compounds? Or?
Yeah, I usually use polishing compound.
Okay.
Just I have a lot of I do quite well with the Tamiya ultra fine polishing, and just use a really nice soft cloth and make sure you just keep using a clean piece so you
Yep.
don't get any balling, because once you start getting balling and it hardens up, that's when you run the risk of scratching it,
Right. Okay.
because it's not like glass,
Yeah.
it's plastic.
Plastic.
So you got to be careful not to scratch it.
Mm.
But it seems to come out well for me. I'm happy with the outcome.
I have a dedicated microfiber cloth, I
Yep,
think it is.
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Same thing
Microfiber
like
cloth.
if you go to an optometrist and you buy that cloth.
Yep.
To clean your glasses with your
and
reading
that, yep,
glasses. Yeah.
yep. Yeah, that stuff works really well.
Wheels.
Yes, wheels. So a lot of these kits come with vinyl wheels,
They all come with rubber tyres.
and you're
Yeah.
not a big fan of them, are you?
No, I like them.
Because rubber tyres are the only way you can get the tread pattern.
Yeah.
But you don't like rubber in or vinyl in aircraft.
No, not a fan on aircraft kits.
So why the difference between the two?
I just feel that in aircraft kits they just don't look right. You can't weather them as well as you can if you're using plastic. Whereas with car tyres, unless you're doing something rally and you're going to really muddy the thing up, you just clean them up. What I do is I get me tyres, put them in a Dremel tool, and just spin them and just have a flat bit of sandpaper, medium grade sandpaper, tack down on the bench and just lightly just tap on top of that, and that just gives it that nice scuffed tyre look.
Right. It
Gets
takes
rid
out
of
any
the
seam that's
takes
there
the
as
seam
well.
out. Yep.
That's an interesting way of doing
Yeah.
it.
And I think it's the AMT or Ertl, one of the brands. I've got a few of their kits, and they've actually got already the tyre manufacturers painted on the tyres.
Yeah.
I know one kit I've got, I think it's a 68 Super B, and that's actually got already got the little red rims on the tyres.
Well, how would you go about doing a white wall tyre from the 1950s then, if it comes with the...
Maybe a decal.
A decal, usually they come with decals or very careful painting.
decals to go onto a vinyl tyre?
Yeah. I remember the old, was it the old Tamiya Formula 1 kits used to all come with decals for the tyres.
My 037 has dry transfers for the tyres.
Rub on.
Yeah.
I haven't used them yet, but I don't necessarily have to because there are photos of the car that I'm doing
Without it.
with and without. Because the way I've had it explained to me, it's a race car. They weren't too fussy about which side of the tyre faces out.
No. As long as it's not flat and it's got plenty of grip.
Yeah.
So unlike other
It's only
models...
printed on one side, right?
True. I'm just thinking now to the painting. So you'd be pretty much following what they do in the factory when they build it. So you'd be painting the outside shell and everything first before you go and assemble it all.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which is sort of different to what we're used to with, say, building ships or aircraft or tanks or...
Yeah, well, what I do is I have three major sub-assemblies.
Yep.
Chassis with wheels and engine. Then I have the interior, and then the body. And last thing you do is clip all three together.
So I would actually go the other way around. I'd consider doing the body first.
Oh, really?
Because it's the most difficult part. Like if you muck up your paint job, that's going to deflate your balloon, right, really fast.
Yes.
And if that's the part you're doing at the start, then you're like, well, I haven't invested too much in it.
Yes,
but
true.
if you get it right, then you're like, well, it's just downhill from here.
Yeah. Well, that's right. You got a point there. But that's just the way I do it.
Yeah, I know, but you've often done it in almost reverse fashion. Like you do with aircraft, you do your landing gear and everything first, don't you?
No, cockpit's first.
Really?
Yep.
I remember someone telling me that you did that. Oh, well.
No.
I guess they're wrong, and I'll have to tell them as such.
Yes.
Tell them lies.
But one thing I've been doing lately too is with all my car kits is actually going online and getting the actual paint chips.
Because that's the next subject you get to painting. Yeah.
Manufacturers' paint chips.
So,
but the difficult thing is all those classic muscle cars. There's not many paint manufacturers out there that make the right colour paints. Which means you're probably going to have to go, in my case, unless Zero or the other Gravity colours, because they're the two major manufacturers of scale automotive paints.
Yep.
I can't remember which brand it is, but I've got some Guardsman Blue, which is for the Cobras, and that comes in a very large bottle, but it's very expensive paint.
Is it a enamel or
it's a lacquer?
Okay.
A lacquer base. So you got to buy their lacquer based undercoats, and they've got 2-part clear coats as well, 2 and 3-part clear coats.
Geez.
So like proper.
Yeah.
And the way you use the paint is you got to do it properly as they do in the factory, like dust coats, and then slowly get it heavier. If you're just trying to apply it as one coat, it just goes bananas and it just looks absolutely garbage, and it's a good chance it will melt your plastic.
Oh God, is that hot?
It gets hot, yeah.
See, because of that story, that whole thing, I've heard that sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. I remain skeptical of like Zero paints.
Yeah,
yeah, because it seems to me.
I've seen some of the finishes they get amazing finishes.
I'm sure. Like if you practice at anything, you can get good at it. But when people explain to me like how these Zero paints and such work, it sounds like they're way too hot for plastic. They're not made for plastic kits. It sounds like they've taken the actual automotive paint, they've just put it in a little tiny bottle and sold it to you for a premium.
Well, that's what a lot of it is it's actually but the thing with them though is when they do their metallics is somehow they get those metallic flakes microscopically small. So you don't get that 1980s speedboat look where you got the giant metal flake finish. You get the proper metallic scale look.
Yeah. So
with me, like with my muscle cars, what will end up being, you'll have to go down to the local paint manufacturers or paint suppliers, automotive paint suppliers, and just get a little litre tin of acrylic paint.
And that's what you can do. You can go to your local automotive supplier and say, I'll need this paint for this particular car.
Well, what you do is you go, I want a pot. In Australia, you can get pots of what they call touch-up paint.
Yeah.
500ml pots. And just go, well, this is the colour I want, this is the code. So you've got to do your research and get your paint codes.
Yep.
They can also colour match, can't they?
Well, I've done it a few times, and I've actually got the actual paint code from the manufacturer and gone, this is the paint code. And as soon as you give them the paint code, they just type that into their machine and pops out your colour.
Yep.
And I did a commission job for a fellow where I did do a 56 Chev 4-door, and he wanted it painted up in the exact colours of his 56 Chev. And that was like a silver and a purple. And what he gave me, because I told him, I said, look, you organise your colours and I'll do it. And he gave me spray cans.
Oh, okay, rattle cans.
Yeah, rattle cans.
Right.
So I had to decant them into bottles and then use them to airbrush. Turned out nice. Didn't have a problem. Got a really nice finish. And I found, and to get the clear coat, because he didn't give me any clear coat, I just put Guns over the top of it.
That worked?
Guns high gloss, yeah, come up a treat, shiny. You could mirror finish.
So, what's with these guys getting nail polish and using nail polish? They'll spray it. They'll
they do that.
Buy nail polish and they'll thin it and then spray it onto there.
Yeah, because a lot of that nail polish is like that really high, like really
acrylic.
Fine, thin metallic base.
Yeah,
and that's what they use it for, to get their candy colour looks.
Right. Okay.
And that's usually done for people who like doing hot rods and stuff like that. Yep. I don't do hot rods. I do cars as they were from the factory back in its day. Like all the car kits I get, they come with options like to put big blowers and and all sorts of doohas on them, and those sprues get chucked. I want it as it is out of the factory.
Cool.
Mm.
Some of the best manufacturers for car kits. We've already mentioned. What is it called?
Model
Factory
Hero.
Hero.
Tamaya have
Tamaya.
a huge range of rally car and Formula One as well as normal.
Oshima.
Yeah.
So they're,
See, all
they're
these
spelled
guys.
A-O. A-O.
Aoshima.
Shima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose they'd pronounce it Aoshima.
No
But
doubt.
that's mainly for like European and Japanese cars.
Yep.
Like what I'm into, the American muscle cars, well, you've got Monogram,
AMT.
Revell, AMT, Ertl, Johan, and they're basically your four main ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Fujimi also make a lot of car kits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fujimi'd actually do not a bad GD40.
Oh, yeah.
Revell and Italeri.
Yeah.
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 So but then you're looking
to
more
varying
at the
degrees of
weird sales as well.
European cars,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
If you like European cars and European sports cars, go for it.
Yep.
Also, Ebro.
Yeah,
Ebro? No, it's not
Ebro.
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 Ebro. EBBRO.
Yep.
And they do a lot of really nice kits of like early Formula One cars, like earlier Formula One cars. Like the
Yep.
the ones that look
60s.
like a kazoo,
1950s type
Kazoo.
style.
And earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
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 Oh, you mean like the pre-war sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Like before the wings started appearing. I think some of them are even the ones
that'd
where...
be the 50s.
Yeah. I think some of them are also
40s,
like the...
30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Well, then you got our local manufacturer here, Roy. Southern Cross Miniatures. With his,
Southern Cross Miniatures,
yeah.
yes.
With his beautiful, is it an Audi?
Yeah.
I think, or an Auto Union.
Yeah.
That's a stunning kit.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of build-ups on that, and everyone just raves about it. It's just a really nice kit.
I know that I think one of the Ebro kits is even those Formula One cars when they first started getting the wings. They've got these thin, tiny metal... They look like antennas, almost. They're that thin. There's little stalks with this wing that's way up too high, and you think
Exactly, yeah.
You look at it and you're like, that's going to snap.
Yeah, before they figured out whether the proper aerodynamics were.
What about some fun kits and off-the-wall kits like the Herman Munster car and all that
you
sort
can
of
buy
stuff?
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think,
I've seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
AMT do a lot of the funny cars, don't they?
I've seen also you can buy the car from the Beverly Hill Billies.
Oh, seriously? You can get that, can you?
Yeah, you can get that. What was the name? Lady Penelope's Rolls Royce, pink Rolls
The
Royce.
pink Rolls Royce with the 6 wheels.
Six-wheeler Rolls Royce, yes.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
nice.
jeez.
Yes.
They made a nice die cast of that.
Yes, they did. But no, there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
It just, as Julian and I said earlier, you've just got to find what interests you.
Mm.
Once you find, and with us guys, I don't think there's a guy out there that probably doesn't have an interest in a specific type of car.
True, but I don't necessarily want to model it, though.
No, that's right.
I mean, I've got a bit of an interest in doing military style, like a Willys Jeep or something like that, and I still classify that as a car. You can road register it and drive
You
on the
can
road.
paint it red.
Bite your tongue. The Airfix Bentley racer from pre-war. That
The Bentley blower.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be an awesome one to get.
Yes.
That British racing
That's
green.
an old kit though, and need a lot of cleaning up.
Well, in
But,
that
yeah.
case, I'll probably steer clear of that then.
That's probably a newer one of it.
What?
Or a similar Bentley from the similar era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Italeri do a really old Fiat from the 30s or 40s.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot out there.
Yeah. So a lot of car modelers will use a big black wash to outline their doors.
Yep.
I'm not that much
I
of a
don't
fan
use a
of
big
that.
black wash. I use a very, very...
It looks a little too strong.
I never use a black wash anymore. Actually, I'll tell a lie. I used a black wash on my Gundam because this is more cartoony to me.
Yeah.
But anything else, I use the darkest grey I can find. Because the darkest grey is going to look a lot better than black.
So I tend to pick.
And you got to do that for the doors and the boot lid.
That's unless it actually opens and you wouldn't bother.
Yeah, if it opens, you don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those older kits where they do open and close, they don't open and close very well.
So you better just glue them shut?
Yeah, you best just to glue them shut. Yeah. Yep. They just, they're not for... And the hinges they usually use are really garbage.
Clear coats.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I think we'll leave clear coats alone because
That's a universal thing.
And next episode, we're doing a clear coat. An episode of clear
that
coats.
sounds good, yeah.
We're getting
We'll do that,
Michael into... he's been doing some experimenting on clear coats. So it was actually recommended by one of our Patreon supporters that we do a clear coat episode. So
sounds like a plan.
we're going to be doing that. So...
I have many opinions.
I wouldn't doubt that you do, Julian. So is that it for cars? Anything else we need to sort of touch on before we
think of that I can think of at the moment? But look, if anyone's got any questions, just send us an email.
Also, with those zero paints and the like, people will talk about doing like 8 coats. 8 coats of just the base paint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a lot of coats.
Yeah.
Spray it. I'm not saying spray one coat and then spray another one 5-10 minutes later. I'm talking one coat, put it away.
I know with these zero paints and that. I saw because I haven't used them yet, but I watched the YouTube stuff on them and 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, 15 minutes.
Yeah, the stuff dries real quick.
Because it's hot.
Yeah, that's why you dust it on.
Also, I've seen someone in a YouTube video use I believe Tamiya have a wax, and you can put wax on your cars.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
that can sort of,
Yeah, the Zero does that as well, or Zero or Gravity does that as well. They got a whole polishing
kit.
It
makes sense. You're building a kit of a car.
Yep.
Real, cars you want it to look nice. You put wax on it.
And you see some of the finishes at model shows of some of these car kits, and it's like a mirror finish with their paint. It's just amazing.
You seriously put wax in the model car?
Yeah.
You're mad.
Not me. I haven't done it, but there are people who do it.
The really good thing about
That's crazy. What?
If you don't have a cabinet, it's a lot easier to keep clean.
Well, just put it in the rain. Just watch the raindrops purl off it, wouldn't you?
There you go. You can do that too.
I think people use it to get it that extra bit shiny.
Yeah.
Oh, or add extra bit of realism, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they use it on real cars. Why not on model cars?
Well, they use it on real cars for a reason. Because it beads the water and keeps the dirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But also removes like swirls and things like that in the paint.
Yep. From when they're cut and polishing it.
There's one thing that I sort of think with regards to the how shiny the car is. It can look too shiny sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing a car that's supposed to look like an auto salon car, you go as shiny as you possibly can because that's what you're going for.
If you're doing concours, yes.
Yeah, but if you're doing like a car that's supposed to look like a commuter,
you
don't want it to look too shiny.
Oh, well, you look at
otherwise it doesn't look right.
You have a good look at modern cars out there now. You can actually see the orange peel on the paint.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You're not wrong.
You can see the orange peel.
You can go into a car yard and
Yeah.
look at a new car and see the orange peel on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like, wow. It wasn't like that when I was growing up.
Well, that's because they were painted like with a gun,
Yeah.
These days, it's like they just run the whole
No,
body.
they use robots now.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
seen some factories just use a dipping method.
Yeah, exactly. They
Yeah.
Electrically charge the paint and
Yeah.
it just attracts to it. Perfect uniformity kind of
Wouldn't
thing.
that make painting easy?
If we're going to figure out how to do it for model kits, it'd be laughing.
Oh, should be able to figure it out. Someone out there will figure it out.
Mm.
Hopefully we've put the seed into their imagination and they
Hopefully we
can
have.
come up with it. Make everyone's life easy.
All right, guys, let's call that a wrap.
Sounds like a plan.
Time to sign off. Ian.
Enjoy your photo etcher because it's your friend.
Julian.
I don't have anything to say. I can never. You always put me on the spot. I'm always
On
caught
the
off
spot,
guard.
you got 2 weeks to think about it.
No,
We've
no.
been doing this is episode 58 now. So
Yeah, well, I spend that time building moles. You should try that sometime.
oh, boom! Just been burnt.
Oh. Do you want,
All right.
do you want some cream for that burn,
Well,
Dave?
Oh, that's okay. When you guys
just
go,
trying to-
I can add something on the end of the podcast when
That's
you're
it.
gone.
You can.
I'm just trying to light a fire. Hopefully you come in another 2 weeks and you said, look at this, I finished this.
Yeah.
I've got a cabinet full of finished kits out there.
So do I.
I haven't seen your cabinet yet.
My cabinet.
Yeah.
I tell-
You don't have one. You can throw them away.
No. I've got a very small cabinet.
You throw them away.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to offload a whole bunch of them now. I try to push a whole bunch of my Japanese planes on my neighbor. He's got an appreciation for Japanese planes.
Yeah.
He's not a model. He just has an interest in them.
Yeah.
He's not interested in taking them.
Oh,
I think
wow.
he's got little kids. He's got little I don't know 6-7-year-old kids, and they're gonna probably just grab them and break them. And
Do what I do. Raffle them off at work.
Nah.
Done that a few
There's
times.
a few guys at work too who would take my kits, but I have to bring them in. It's like,
Oh, what a hassle.
well, the biggest hassle is that I'd have to put them in a box, and then I'll lose that box because I gave them the kit and the box. I can't tell them, oh, can you bring the box back?
You work for Australia Post. You should be able to get boxes.
All right, guys.
All right, yep.
Thanks very much. I'll see you guys in a fortnight, in which
Yep.
we'll be back talking about, what did I say?
Clear coats.
Clear
Clear
coats.
coats.
All right, no worries. See you all
Bye.
in a fortnight.
Bye-bye.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode. If you're still after some more Scale Model podcasting, go and have a look at Scale Model Podcast, our Canadian counterparts with Stuart and Anthony. Got a great little show over there, and you'll enjoy it just as much as you do this one. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, don't forget you can send us an email at onthebench64@gmail.com. And of course, you can always drop us a message or even comment on our Facebook page. Just search for On the Bench and it'll pop up in the Facebook feed. Thanks very much, everybody, and I'll see you in a fortnight.